Right, let's go ahead and increase the viewer. Hold on. And here we go. All right, so you guys could see it. All right, so once we sign up, let's first get one thing out of the way, the version that you're going to be using. Or think about it like your phone and the operating system that it has. So which system or which artificial intelligence version are you going to be using from the jump, from this point right here, as you could see, right? So this version is version 3.5. 3.5 is one of the first versions that came out in the beginning, but you know, I want to say like maybe last year or so. The computational power as far as how it thinks and gives the responses, it's okay. It's a bit finicky and sometimes could give incorrect answers. However, it is blazing fast, and it's like it has its usage from what I know. But let's just go ahead and show some examples towards how we could do this. We're going to talk about version 4 later on. Version 4 is a little bit more comprehensive. It's more smarter, and it gives a bit more accuracy, but you still got to kind of double check its work, right? But it's a paid version. You have to pay like 20 bucks a month for it. But let me tell you something. It is phenomenal. It gives very great answers, and it's very polished up as far as how it thinks. So again, version 3.5 is more based on speed, but not so much on computational power, meaning how the quality of how it responds back. Certain things might be challenging, whereas version 4, the one you do have to pay, that one's more comprehensive. That one is definitely something that you could type something up and it'll shoot out answers that I research things all the time. But what can you use 3.5 for? And those who are in the comments, this one is for you. Please listen up. Listen up for those who are overseas, not part of the United States, because I know you guys watch my videos, and thank you very much. Sometimes when you guys comment, I can't understand what you're saying because the grammar is so messed up, but it's not your fault. It totally isn't. What you guys do is, this is what you guys do. You guys go to the website and you go to Google Translate, right? You guys go to Google Translate, and then what you do is that you say, I want it from English to, like, let's say Arabic or something like that. And, or the other way around, right? From Arabic to English. And then you guys type what you say, how you say it. And then Google tries to kind of like rephrase it, but it's too literal. And a lot of the times when you guys speak, sometimes overseas, you guys use figurative language, or you guys use different acronyms or maybe certain slangs that only you guys might understand, and Google can't pick it up, and therefore it just doesn't understand it. Google Translate is too literal. Chat GPT will remove all that. Chat GPT will make you sound like a fluent English speaker. That is phenomenal, and it's very fast. Here's an example. I'm not sure how many of you guys speak Spanish up in here. I know a little bit of Spanish, right? A little bit, right? So I'm going to say something in Spanish to translate it in English. Watch this. Now, focus on the bottom. I'm going to try to see if I could go ahead and zoom in as best as possible because I want you guys to really see this. Right here. Translate the following details, the following statement into Spanish. By the way, guys, what you're seeing me do right now, there's a key term for this, and it's called prompting. Okay, let me explain. You know how coders, they get to learn a language, like let's say C++ or Visual Basic and all that stuff, and they know how to write code in order for things to appear? That means they learned the language. They learned computer code. To you, you're like, what does this look like? It looks like Chinese to me. I don't know what this means, right? It's a code. This new wave of AI, it's not about knowing how to code. It's knowing how to prompt. That's the key word. How do you prompt? And understanding how to prompt effectively gives you the right answer. What that means is that if you prompt very poorly and your question is like down the hole, it's going to spit out the trash. It's not going to be like, look, this ain't good. But if you know how to be very specific when you ask those questions, as detailed as you can, that thing is going to spit out exactly what you're looking for. And you can fine tune it right here. Translate the following statement from Spanish to English. Watch this. Okay, so the prompt really was translate the following statement from Spanish to English. Okay, that is the prompting, this one right here. This is the prompt. So if I ever wanted to use that again, the best idea is to right click on this, press copy, and save it, because then whatever the text is will always be different. So what that means is that this will always be the same for any time I have to ask for a question. That's called the prompt, or you save the prompt. And then I copy paste or I type in the thing that I'm looking for. And once I do that, pay attention to the green arrow. The green colored arrow shows you what version it is on. Okay? The green one means version 3.5. The purple one is version 4, just so that you remember. Let's go ahead and check this out. So I type this up, okay? And immediately, like in probably a split second, greetings, my name is Edwin and I'm the owner of Resolutions Design. So if you have a comment in your language, you copy that first part that I showed you, translate the following statement from your language to English, and then those colons, right? And then paste what you wanted to say, and it'll translate out everything. And once you translate it, all you have to do is click on this right here, which will copy it, and then go to the comments on YouTube and tell me exactly what it is that you want to say. I'll totally understand you. Okay? So what's interesting about this interface here is, or ChatGPT overall, is once you ask something, you could do a follow-up question and it'll keep up as if it's a conversation. So you might think, well, that's technically a chatbot. Yes and no. So technically, yes, it is a chatbot, but you know how when you go to those chatbots, they're all like restrictive to just talk about that one thing. And it's like you talk about anything else and it just says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm out. It only has the basic functions. Well, with ChatGPT, that's not the case. You talk about anything. Now, mind you, you can't go ahead and start talking about things you shouldn't, right? Like there's some moderators behind this stuff that if you start talking about things that are perhaps conflicting to the government or something that has to do with things that you wouldn't even type on Google, it knows and it'll give you warnings. So be very careful on the things that you type on this thing because you could get booted out even on the free version. I'm just telling you, not saying because I got booted out. I'm just saying that that's just what it is, right? So this is one conversation right here. And in this conversation, we could just keep going, right? Or we could say, compose something, compose this, or what is the equation of that? Just keep going, right? But if you want to start new, like, hey, I don't want to talk about this topic anymore. Let's go to a new session. Click right here where it says on the upper left-hand corner, new chat. And this is where you could start a new chat system, okay? And start all the way from the beginning again. So you could also, once you have this whole thing down packed and start practicing with this thing, you could go ahead and install it on your phone as well. I found it pretty convenient because sometimes I'll have some questions and I'll just grab the app. I think the iPhone app is called OpenAI. It's not called Chat GPT, by the way. And so you just go to the app and then you just go and download it. And if, sign in with your same username and password and you'll have the version 3.5, right? I repeat again, the version 4.0 is so sophisticated, right? Another reason why 3.5 is good is when you want to rephrase something. So let's pretend that you have an email you want to respond to, let's say someone from work or a teacher, and you just don't want to sound rude. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, I know this is going to sound so bad, but how can I say this without sounding disrespectful? You prompted exactly that. First, what's the message, right? So the message is, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you, but I find this a bit offensive, what you told me the other day. I think it's best, right? I think it's best we call it quits. All right. So what you might want to do is you already wrote what you wanted to say, but now we got to add the prompt as far as what are we instructing ChatGPT to do. So right here, what I'm going to say is rephrase the following without sounding condescending or rude. Colon. Hey, I'm not sure how to put this, but I was a bit offended for what you told me the other day. I believe it would be better if we ended things here. I'd say follow up. Put this in a form of an email from Edwin to Charlie. Hey, Charlie, if you're watching, no offense to you, man. Thanks for watching, brother. All right, so put this in the form of an email from Edwin to Charlie. Did we stomp ChatGPT? Uh-oh. There it is. Oh, we're going deep. Firstly, I wanted to express that I found some things that you mentioned the other day a bit offensive. I believe it's important for us to maintain a mutual respect and understanding in our interactions. Therefore, I feel it's best for us to reconsider the nature of our relationship. Given the circumstance, I think it would be wise for us to part ways at this point. I believe it's in both of our best interests to move forward separately. I want to assure you that this decision is not meant to be personal. Man, yo, we could write a movie with this. This is crazy. I wish you all the best on your future endeavors, and I hope that we could both find ways. This is touching. This is nice. I'll be like, yeah, man, that's cool. As a response. Well, isn't that nice? So this is actually pretty good, especially it gets you out of like situations such as you want to write something to your boss. You feel like you earned that raise. And so you might want to say, hey, write it in your words, right? Hey, boss, listen, I've been working overtime for these past few weeks. I've been pushing in these hours, and I think that I merit this raise. I know that I have to wait until the end of the year, but I feel that due to these prices going up and all this type of stuff, your language, right? Due to these prices going up and everything, it's kind of hard living with this wage. So I was wondering if there was any possible way that you could give me that raise and I could continue working just like how you like me to. And then you say, rephrase this to sound professional, and you email that to your boss. And hopefully there could be something that's good. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that it can help you out. And there's just so many examples as to how you could use that, right? All right, guys. So this video just concludes how we would use ChatGPT, how to install it. And then in the next video, because this is going to be a series, in the next video, I'm going to show you version 4. And then I'm going to show you how we get to install apps in this thing and how we could go ahead and make use of your website in e-commerce so that it could study your website and tell you what things you need to work on and so much more. All right, guys, thanks for watching again. See you shortly.